Welcome back to Nick Learns Thai. I'm Nick. In this video, I want to take you through my current daily reading practice. So I've been reading at least 20 minutes per day for a long time now. But the last maybe like three to 4 months, I changed up my process a bit to specifically focusing on YouTube videos. So I really found a specific channel that I really like, and that's the one I've been using the most. It's called Point of View. Uh, she focuses on a lot of history sort of topics, or like the history of current news events or things that are happening in the world. So I find it really interesting. And I do 20 minutes of reading the transcript for one of the videos from the channel. And then later in the day, or a different part of my practice each day, I go back and watch the video. Now, I only read a portion of the video in each section because I'm reading a lot slower than the speed at which it's presented. But I still get through it eventually over 1 or 2 weeks, depending on how long the video is and how sometimes I have to reread it several times to sort of get it because can be quite difficult, or lots of new vocabulary and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going to go through my practice session. I don't know if I'll do the full 20 minutes on this video, but yeah. One other thing to mention actually is that in the past I was trying to work on my reading speed. My main reason for wanting to do reading was to improve my reading speed and then improve my vocabulary. So I was reading in my head for the most part, and I was really kind of hitting my stride with that and feeling like I was improving. More recently, my teacher encouraged me to read out loud, specifically to help improve my pronunciation. And also, I guess he was a little bit worried that reading in your head without having produced a good pronunciation. I think he called it like a pronunciation voice in your head. Like make sure the voice in your head, your reading voice, has good pronunciation. Not exactly sure how to describe it, but uh, I guess there's a concern there that if that hadn't been well developed first, and then you were reading in your head, maybe it could be doing some harm. Not only sort of not doing good in the pronunciation area, but also doing a bit of harm. Not sure exactly about that, but anyway, so I've sort of switched back to this reading aloud, which does hurt my comprehension for sure, because I'm putting a lot of focus on, trying to get the tones right and stuff, blah, 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 the pronunciation aspects. And I just have less brain power left to think about the meaning, which is also quite difficult. Anyway, let me bring up a share here. Oops. Okay, so what I had been doing before was just reading. Well, I tried a few different methods. One was copying and pasting the transcript into a Word doc first, and then each time I kind of do my session, I would copy a section from that doc into the Thai Notes Reading Assistant. Thai Notes Reading Assistant has a sort of dictionary built in, so that was kind of the reason for doing that. Then when I was a bit lazy, I would just read the transcript itself directly on YouTube, well, I didn't do it so much on the computer, but I usually either did it on my phone or on my iPad, because I'm usually trying to get away from the computer when I'm doing my reading practice. And I was just doing that, and then I wouldn't have the lookup. I'd occasionally look up words, but it wasn't, not every word, whereas it wasn't as easy, so I wasn't doing every word. And I would just try and guess the meaning, and I might miss some where I couldn't guess it. And then just recently, I started experimenting with this app called Language Crush. Let's see the name there. And yeah, it's a website, actually, more than an app. And it does work on iPad. It's a bit buggy. Still not quite sure exactly how I feel about it and whether it's going to be good enough to continue. They do have a premium version as well, but it does have a built-in sort of dictionary as well. So that is helpful. And it's meant to have a feature for saving the words, but I have had some issues with it, particularly between the web version the version that I'm using on my computer on the web and the version I'm using on my iPad on the web, even though it's the same account. For some reason, the words don't seem to be syncing across. But anyway, I'll probably do a more in-depth review of Language Crush at a different time. I might be stalling slightly. So let me get into my reading practice itself. Put my timer on over here. So I've got a 20-minute timer basically. แล้วที่แกปกครองอยู่ฉันจะไม่แตะนึกสภาพระหว่างทะเลาะกันตอนตีแตกแล้วเสียหายแพ้ไปเลยกับกับยอมตั้งแต่แรกได้ปกครองเหมือนเดิมเหมือนเดิม แค่ต้องยอมรับว่าเจียงไคเชกเจียงไคเชก
เจียง
I will stop every now and then and look up words. I think this is a name or something.
ไคทก
ไคเชกเป็นลูกพี่เป็นลูกพี่ and you can
ลู
also
กพี่
do this เป็นลูกพี่ แค่ต้องยอมรับว่าเจียงไคเชกเป็นลูกพี่ทุกคนก็ตกลงตามนั้นครับ Okay, that should be enough reading to give you a little taste. If you're interested in seeing the full reading video, the full 20-minute video, I'll put a link down in the description. Now, I wanted to just mention that I've just realized that this app, this website Language Crush, does have an Android app, and I've downloaded that now, and I'll have a play with that and see how it goes. It looks pretty good just on the first look, but they don't have a iOS app. So, like I said, I like to do my reading often on the iPad. So for that, I'll have to use the web version still, but on my phone, at least I can try the Android app. Okay, that's my 20 minutes. I started at the 8-minute mark within the timestamp, and now I'm up to a 10:39. That seems about right. Usually I'm able to read about 3 minutes worth of the video. So it's handy to have the timestamps in because it lets me know, yeah, how much of the video I've read through. And this point of view video person here can actually see it here. The video, you can actually, you can watch through it and stuff. There's other features within this, but I'm mostly using it for reading. She speaks pretty fast. So, but I think it's a fairly even speed. So if I read through about 3 minutes, that's a good, good little bit of reading, I think. A few other quick notes. So, I mean, as I mentioned, there's some bugs with this platform. In this case, we've got all these weird NBSP things. They're like spaces. It's like the HTML or something for the space, and other numbers and stuff, which kind of get in the way. It's worse on the iPad, actually. It's much easier to use on a computer, the mouse. On the iPad, there's lots of stuff that gets in the way. If I do a longer video, in-depth review video of Language Crush, I'll be able to talk about them more there. So that is a little bit annoying. It doesn't happen on every video. Like, I don't know why it happened on this one, but in other videos, it imported it from YouTube without any problems. So yeah, not sure why that was. Other than that, one other thing to mention perhaps is I think these translations are like, not sure. I think that some of them are like community supplied. Like you can see I can enter my own translation. So I'm not 100% sure on how accurate they are. So you're always going to take them with a grain of salt, I guess. Anyway, that's my reading practice for today. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below if you've used this app before or a different app for your reading practice and what you're doing with your reading. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.